What is up, my trunk slaying friends? It's Spicy Monday time. You ever give something away for free at your MSP? Maybe not literally for free, but where you're breaking even or less because you had some ham-fisted idea that was somehow magically going to result in more business later. And I know you have. And then later on, did you use the one time out of like 80 that it kind of worked to sort of put together this, stretch of a story on why you were right and keep doing it? Yeah, you should probably stop doing that. Let's talk a little bit more today about why there's no real loss leading in our industry and why giving away your services for free is just really, really dumb. I've talked about this before in a previous video a little bit. And I've also talked a little bit about in some previous videos on Dunning-Kruger and Dunbar's number, just why, and normal distributions, just why people make the decisions they make and then organize the data or lack thereof afterwards to justify it. And you can go watch those if you want to rehash all of that. So I'm not going to bother with all of that. But what I was reminded recently, I was talking to a friend who was telling me about a modestly sized MSP, I would say lower mid-market size, who claimed they were giving away free service in exchange for Google reviews. And it's not the first time I've heard something like this. And at face value, I love it. It's great. Right? Like every client should be either producing us profit or should be a net promoter, hopefully both, and should be leading to us getting more business. And at its surface, good for you. I like that hustle and I like that brand confidence. But that's pretty much where the positive words stop and where I need to kind of blow a hole on why that kind of thinking is horseshit and you're neither clever nor smart for doing it. And you're really just hurting yourself, your business, and your clients, and your techs by operating like that. And it's time to learn. And yes, I am absolutely shoehorning this in here. This is one of those situations that you should be saying no and focusing on what you're good at. So let's quickly talk about this idea, because giving away something for a review or some other reason, that's a loss leader. I don't care how you package it and try and reframe your bullshit to me, but that's a loss leader. So let's quickly talk about what a loss leader is. So the idea behind a loss leader, super generalized, you're going to take a product or a service and you're going to provide it at a price that is unprofitable with the hopes that that will somehow draw clients or customers in, and then they will consume future products at a profitable price, and you will have great business as a result. And this strategy absolutely is a valid strategy for other industries, really for completely different industries. And it doesn't work so well in a service-based industry. And let's talk about why it doesn't work so well, especially at MSP. So where you'll see a loss leader done really well is that one that for anybody here who's around my age will remember when the Xbox 360 first came out, you could go into like, I don't know, a Best Buy or a Circuit City or a Fry's, I don't know, wherever you live, whatever your electronics store was. And basically they would effectively give you an Xbox either literally for free or at a price that was obviously below cost. Because the idea was one Xbox, one game, and one controller that gets you on the ecosystem. And now you're going to be coming back there forever to buy additional games and accessories. And that worked really well. And in fact, the only reason why that stopped working well was because you eventually could just download and buy the games online. Before you could do that, that was a super effective strategy. And we've seen this in other sort of commodity-based things in the past. Who remembers like CD subscription plans, where you get 10 for free initially, and then you get on a plan to get, more CDs per month. So the idea is you take something, in all these cases, you take an item that is perceived to have a relatively high value, like an Xbox or like a dozen CDs, but is actually a very low margin item, meaning that no one's going to make a lot of money on this to begin with. And in case you think they were, I will tell you quickly, when I used to sell TVs back in the day, we had a 60-inch Pioneer Elite plasma TV. This is like 2005. And this thing was the best TV that was made on earth, full stop. There was no better TV. It held that spot for a while. And so we would sell this TV. It was a commission sales place. We would sell this $10,000 TV that was never really marked down, and people would assume that we made thousands of dollars in our pocket. I think the payout on that TV was like $100 because like it costs like $9,000. So there was almost no margin on that television, and a lot of items that you'll see in a loss leading element, hopefully not a $10,000 element, unless you have higher margin items to give away later. But that's the idea. You give away a perceived high value, low margin item that is going to cause people to come back and then pay for lower cost or lower perceived cost high margin items. A lot of them. That's how this works. That's why loss leading works really well if that's what you're doing. But the thing is, you're an MSP, and that's not what you're doing at all. Because you're an MSP, first of all, you're not doing stuff at a high margin, because I bet most of the people listening to this are not even making 50 points on their services, even though you should be. So what you're selling is not high margin. It's not particularly perceived as being high value. We know that because we constantly have to justify our existence and what we do. And there's no super high margin, high demand product that you'll be able to funnel them into once you've given away everything for free to begin with. Which is why at face value, it's really, really, really stupid. So listening to all that, you might be saying, I hear you, Dean, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm different. No, you're not. Shut up. You're running a pizza place. Dough, sauce, cheese. It's the same as everyone else's. I don't care that your recipe's different. I don't care that you buy the tomato sauce from somewhere else. I don't care that at your restaurant you, I don't know, put in mushrooms or some, special homegrown type of pepper that makes your pizza's different. It's still the same thing. You got to put those ingredients together, you bake it, and then you sell it to me in a transaction. You're an MSP. So cut out this nonsense shit that you're different. And if that really is your justification for why you're doing a loss leader, you're extra stupid, because the whole point of a loss leader, remember, is to have a product that is in high demand with a perceived high value that has a low margin that people will come take for free to buy from you. And well, if you're totally different, that means they don't know what you do, which just cut out the demand part, and it also cut out the high margin part. So we've talked about this before, that self-doing your own stuff is not high margin or intelligent. So if you really are sitting there saying, my MSP is that different, then you're extra dumb. And I will provide you a sponge if you mail me to wipe that clown paint off your face. So getting back to what initially got me riled up about this was this MSP, this otherwise by any generic measurement successful. I mean, it's an MSP that's multiples of 1 million in size, which is good. That's not easy, and good for them. And they're at a point now where they're giving away their services for Google reviews. And the idea is, well, if I get more Google reviews, that will drive me more business, or I can use that as a weapon to drive my ICP. And if you want to get into this sort of at a deeper level than the shitposting level, really the intended strategy here is I have an ICP. And in order to have some clout and credibility for that ICP, I'm going to take clients that are outside of my ICP. I'm going to go do easier work for them for free, or smaller work, or lower. So let's say your ICP is 50 to 100 seat clients that need at least emergency follow the sun support and HA devices in an actual DR plan, not a we have a data, like a real DR site plan. Like that's a more mature client. So you go to maybe somebody who's like a 10 seat client that just needs AAD and 365 and SharePoint, and they're good. And you go do something for them for free so that they will review you, so you can use that cloud for the bigger client. And so I understand the 4-dimensional chess that's going on there. And to be clear, I love the idea, if you have an easy to consume client at an easy market point that you can very easily execute projects and services for, i.e. that 10 seat client that only needs those 3 things, to the point where they'll be happy enough where they'll tell people publicly, that's great. And just do that. Okay? Just to be clear, just do that. That should be your business model. Just do that. And if you want to like come back to me and say I've spun up a separate team that only focuses on those clients, that might still be a bad idea, but it's way less stupid than giving stuff away for free. My point is, if you're making these people happy enough by doing what you do to get free reviews, just make these people happy enough and get paid by them and just focus on these people, right? Like, we all get that. Anyways, so getting back to that sort of, 40 chess strategy, the thing is, it works 100% of never. And I know as a either sales manager or owner, you might be sitting there and saying, oh, actually, Dean, but this one time it did work. I don't care that it maybe worked one time, because you know what? I bet, first of all, you're not actually doing proper case studies and data analysis to know that causation and correlation here. So it probably actually didn't work at all. You probably succeeded for a different reason or a combination of reasons, which is good. I'm not upset you succeeded, but like, don't use the one time you think it worked to prop up a ton of bad ideas. That's just sunk cost fallacy with extra steps. And I want to think about that for a minute. So this MSP that's able to do free work, and let's assume that the reason they're getting the work is not because they have a giant billboard that says they'll do it for free, because that's even more stupid. Let's assume that they're getting the free work because they're actually good at speaking to that particular ICP or TCP of client. They're good at communicating the value of everything they're doing, and the only part that they're cheating on is the price tag is free. Why wouldn't you do more of that for money? So the other part I left out of this entire conversation is that, getting back to the whole idea of what a loss leader is supposed to be, it never actually works even when it does. All of the companies I mentioned before that would do a loss leader on a particular product or service, they're out of business now. And all of the methodologies they use to do a loss leader, they're out of business now. And that's the thing. There are very, very few commodity-based industries where a loss leading strategy is a permanent strategy. And that's why generally you don't see corporations doing them perpetually as an actual strategy. They do them tactically. They come in and they will say, like the Xbox, they will say, for this initial season, for these first few months, we're going to do a thing. And the strategy is, in that example, to become the gaming hub that you go in person to get all your gaming accessories. It's not to keep giving away shit for free, because giving away things for free is really dumb. It's incredibly dumb. People are willing to pay. In fact, people are typically willing to pay quite a bit for things that they want. And so giving them away for free is just really dumb. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Giving things away for free is really dumb. Hope you all understand that. There's multiple reasons why giving away things for free are dumb, besides the aforementioned that at an MSP, you likely are never going to make a profit back if you've given away your already incredibly expensive services away for free that are already low margin. We've already talked about the fact that people are willing to pay for most things anyway, so giving them away for free is totally unnecessary. But all of those things aside, what are some other reasons that doing things for free are dumb? So, two things I can think of from an operations perspective why doing anything, especially anything within your core line of business for free, is really, really, really dumb. Well, first of all, there's the whole idea of valuation of something. If I tell you that something costs $1,000 and then I give it to you for $800, you probably feel like you got a deal. If I tell you something costs $0, which is what I'm doing when I give it away for free, then you don't really feel like you got a deal. You might think it's cool that you got something for free or that you got one over on the man, but no one's sitting there thinking, what a great value I got. And think to this, to literally anything any of you have ever interacted with in real life where you've been offered it for free. I will give you a great example of my lawn is garbage. My neighbors' lawns are amazing. I have lawn envy. A number of years ago, I had called up True Green because True Green said they would stop by and do an analysis for free. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to spend the money. I already had an idea of what it cost, but I figured, hey, it's free. I'll waste their time. And I had the True Green guy at our house for like 45 minutes. And then I got a follow-up call where they were giving me all this advice. Actually, they did a really nice job with that whole pre-sales process. But I didn't buy anything from them because I wasn't really that interested. And because it was all free, I didn't feel like I owed them anything. And there was no sense of reciprocity. There was no sense that I had to buy or there was any reason or urgency for me to close. It was free. So like, what do I care? Thank you. Thank you for the free. Like, as long as I'm not being unethical or don't or I'm not made to feel like I'm being, like completely unethical, it it was free. That's your business thing. Your business offers free. So thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed wasting your time. I'm never gonna buy from you. So there's that. And then the other side of free is, let's say you overcome that, and or not, but let's say you magically overcome that and you start delivering for free. Well, as we all know, even if we give it away for free, there's still a cost to delivering it. And you do know that, right? You're not that fucking dumb. So if I'm giving something away for free and there's a cost to delivering it, well, am I really going to want to invest too much in delivering it? Or am I going to look for the cheapest way to deliver that thing that's for free? Because I might be dumb, but I'm not that dumb. So your entire mindset is slowly going to shift, even if it didn't initially, to being as cheap and shitty as possible with delivering the free thing. Which means that if you feel that you had this perception that the free thing was of high quality, because this is a service, well, it might have started off that way, but it won't stay that way, because you're not going to put your best staff on it. You're not going to use your best tools on it. You're not going to prioritize it. So it's going to become a substandard version of what the best experience could be, which negates the entire initial premise of why you were doing this. And you're going to start treating all of the costs and resources it takes to deliver this thing for free. Remember, that's people. Because you're a service-based business, you're going to start treating them differently. Because in the back of your head, you also know that these people are not making you any money. And you're going to very slowly, even if you are the most benevolent and amazing boss on the face of the planet, start to view them as the people who don't make you any money. Which means that you are going to start subtly doing things that make it unpleasant to do the thing for you, which is going to once again decrease the quality of it, and worst case may actually burn out or poison the well that these otherwise great staff at your company, which I'm here to tell you, if they're willing to go along with your bullshit for free shenanigans, they're great staff, they're loyal. Don't take advantage of that, because they will reach a point where they say this is ridiculous and they'll get sick of doing it. At the end of the day, what almost all of this comes down to is not entrepreneurial genius. And I say this for both anyone watching who experiences this currently at their MSP and doesn't understand why their boss, their executives are doing it, or if you're a boss or an executive and you're doing it currently, you're not doing this because of entrepreneurial genius. And short of a very small percentage of entrepreneurial people who are giving away things for free because that's their business kink, it's just that exciting to them to do it. So that's a small percentage. We'll put them to the side. Probably 95% of the businesses that are doing some form of this are doing it out of fear. And I say this at the end because I want you to have some sympathy for the decision making that led up to doing an otherwise objectively stupid thing. Because most business owners and executives do not wake up and objectively try to destroy what produces them money. That's almost never anybody's goal. It didn't start off that way. It starts off out of fear. And in most cases, that fear boils down to a fear of understanding how to properly value and sell your services. So you feel like you need to give the person something for free, or you need that as a tool to close or sell. Or on the other side, it's more of a general fear of the unknown. And in the case of the MSP that originally riled me up, that's what I suspect. Getting back to their initial strategy, my guess is that they got really good at delivering to a very, very particular style of client. And they realized after a period of time that ICP of a client really wasn't going to be what was going to grow their business to the next level, which is good for them for acknowledging that. But they also realized that they have no idea how to do business with anybody that isn't that client. And it's hard, and it's going to take work and costs, and all of that stuff is scary. And it's easier to just kind of pull a giant blanket over your face and be like, la, 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 you know, I'm invisible, than really accept the fact that, hey, like, this lower mid-market size, this may just be it for us. We may have reached our operational competency ceiling, and these, you know, 10 to 20 seat clients that we're good at, that we're giving away services to, this is probably all we're able to do, and probably all we're gonna be able to do. And I bring this up at the end because I think this can naturally happen to a lot of service-based businesses, especially service-based businesses that were founded, started, and are still largely run by one of the initial founders. You reach, it's Peter Principle, you reach the Peter Principle ceiling of what that initial founder's literal capabilities are to run the business. And that's scary. And it's okay to acknowledge that and be uncomfortable about it and be scared of it. And so if you are listening to this and that is you, that's all right. Like, first of all, that's successful that you've already gotten to that point. And secondly, guess what? There's other strategies that you can employ to continue to grow your business that don't involve doing stupid shit on a whim that somehow they're going to pan out into you magically getting the skill set to talk to a level of client that you very objectively and clearly don't have. And I'm not talking about throw a bunch of bodies at the problem. I'm not saying go buy more sophisticated tools. I'm not saying go invest in more sophisticated marketing, although that probably is a part of it. It might be that this is all you are capable of doing. Guess what? You can acquire, you can merge. Like, there's other ways to grow a business. And a lot of those ways also sound scary, but they're way less stupid than giving away your core competency for free for Google reviews in the hope that that'll help you do something you objectively can't already do. Have a great Monday. Stop giving away shit for free. Focus on what you're good at.